Welcome back to myclass.com. This is our first video on Java. In this class, I am going to explain about introduction to OOPS. We all know that Java is an object-oriented programming language, is it? So before entering into the detail of Java programming, here I am going to explain what is OOP concepts. Okay, so let's start. Introduction to OOPS. OOP. OOP stands for Object-Oriented Programming. As the name suggests, it uses objects in the programming. Object is the main part of that program. In this programming model, where programs are organized around the object, the programs are organized around object and data rather than the action and logic. We are concentrating more on objects and the data related to that object. Then only we are considering the action and logic only related to that object and data. That is the main concept of object-oriented programming. So that means there are another type of programming language also, is it? So type of programming languages. And this I am going to explain about the two main types. Procedural programming language and object-oriented programming language. So what is procedural programming language? Let's see. Procedural programming. Procedural programming can be defined as a programming model which is derived from structured programming based upon the concept of calling procedure. It is a biggest example of structured programming or procedure programming is C. We all know the programming language is C, is it? So C is a programming language that is following procedural programming style. That means it is like a top-down approach. Top-down approach. We are writing from the top to down based on our logic. So it is mainly based upon the concept of calling procedure. Procedure means we can also say like in routines, subroutines, functions, etc. Simply consists of a series of computational steps to be carried out. If we want to add two numbers like that, so we can put together into a group of statement like, and we can name it as a function. So we can call it again and again. Where it needed, we can call it. Like that, calling procedure concept is the main concept of procedure programming, and it is also a top-down model. During a program execution, any given procedure might be called at any point, including by other procedure or itself. We can call function by itself, and we can call another function from one function. Like we can call any number of functions from our main function, is it? We are starting our C program like void main. Void main itself is a main function. Okay, so this style of programming is we are called procedural programming. Then next is object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming is a way of designing and programming software by manipulating objects, and the objects are the main part of the programming. We are designing or we are starting the program by manipulating objects. We are concentrating more on objects. We are making first we are started to make the class, then object, then only we are concentrating on the logic of our program. In object-oriented programming, computer programs are designed using the concept of the object that interact with the real world. Actually, what is object? Object means a real world entity such as pen, chair, table, computer, watch, etc. All real world entities we can name it as an object. Okay. So objects are the main part of object-oriented programming. Simula is considered the first object-oriented programming language. First object-oriented programming language is Simula, but the Smalltalk is considered the first truly object-oriented programming language. So, name the first truly object-oriented programming language, then the answer is Smalltalk. Then lots of programming languages that is following object-oriented programming style, that is our Java, CPP, C++, C#, Python, PHP, JavaScript, Ruby, Perl, Objective-C, like lots of languages are on the basis of object-oriented programming. So in this tutorial, we are more concentrating on Java. Okay. Now we are moving to basic principles of object orientation. Sorry. What are the basic principles of object orientation? There are mainly 7 principles are there. Like first one is objects and classes, second one is attributes and methods, third is encapsulation, fourth is information hiding, fifth one is abstraction, sixth is inheritance, and seventh one is polymorphism. Okay, just we can next slide we are explaining detail all the principles. So first we are moving to object and classes. Object and classes. Here I am listed some examples for class and objects. Real world examples. Like see, when we are considering human being as a class, then man is an object of, we can say that man is an object of human being. Okay. Woman also we can say that an object of human being. Okay. So human being is a class. Actually class is a logical entity, and man and woman are objective of class human being. These are physical entity. Man and woman are object of the class human being. So another example is class color. So red, blue, green, all are objectives of the class color. Another example is pets. So dog is an object of pets, cat is an object of pets. Wild animals. Tiger is an object of wild animal, lion is also an object of wild animal. So these are the relationship between the object and the classes. Class is a logical entity. What is the main behavior or what is inside an object, that is explained in the class itself. Okay, so let's see in detail. So objects, any entity that has state and behavior is known as an object. So an object has its state and behavior. Object is a real-time entity. We can feel it or we can touch it like that. It is a real-time entity. It has some properties and tasks performed on it. Objects are the things you think about first in designing a program. When we are thinking about to design a program in Java or any other object-oriented programming concept, we are first think about the objects. Okay. So from the object, that unit of code is the main part of our object-oriented programming language. An object contains an address and takes up some space in memory. An object is a physical entity. The object needs space in memory for storing its details, informations. Objects can communicate without knowing the detail of each other's data or code. That is the communication between objects that we will discuss later. So what is class? Class is a blueprint or a set of instructions to build a specific type of object. Actually, class is like a blueprint, some instructions, some write downs that how an object is look like. So that is the concept of class. From the class, from the point of class, we can create more objects. Okay, it is a basic concept of object-oriented programming which revolves around the real-life entities. Class in Java determines how an object will behave and what the object will contain. What an object will contain, that is already we are defining in a class. So on that basis also we can create more object of the same class. Okay. So collection of object is called class. It is a logical entity, but the object is a physical entity. It needs space, memory space for storing its detail of information. Okay. So let's see one example. Here I am going to explain about a class person. So actually class containing its data members and the methods. Method means the function itself. In the idea of function, in Java we are saying methods as a function. Methods. We are using the word method. Okay. So in the class person, the data members are a unique ID for identifying a particular person, name, age, city and gender. So this is a logical explanation about a person, and also the methods that the person following is eat, study, sleep, play. The methods. So let's see. We can say that John is an object of this class person and Jesse is another object of class person. So John has its data. John has a specific values for this data members. Name is John, age is 35, city is Delhi, gender is male. But for in the case of Desi, the name is Desi, age 25, city Pune, gender female. So we can say that John and Desi are the objects of the class person. Okay. So let's see the difference between the classes and object. Object is an instance of class. We can say that object is an instance of class. Okay. See, person is a class. John is a one instance of the class person. Desi is another instance of class person. Okay. Class is a blueprint from which objects are created. That we already explained. Object is a real world entity such as chair, pen, table, etc. Class is a group of similar objects. See, this lots of other persons are also there, like any other name. So all that group of similar object we can say it as a person, class person. Okay. Object is a physical entity. It need space to memory space to say. Class is only a logical entity. Object is created many times as per requirement. See, John, we created one object, we created another object. Class is declared once, but we are declaring a class only once in a program. Object allocates memory. We already said like that. And class does not allocate memory because it is only a logical entity. We are just explaining how an object looks like. That is a class. Okay. So, hope we all understand about the object and classes. Next, we are just going through another OBS concept like encapsulation. Encapsulation in Java is a mechanism of wrapping the data and code acting on the data together as a single unit. See, encapsulation, capsule, just like our capsule. All things are under only one. Lots of different things are inside a capsule. Okay, not like a tablet, normal tablet. Like that, we are wrapping the data and the code acting on the data. That means methods together in a single unit. Okay, that is actually class. Class is the main concept of encapsulation in Java. In encapsulation, the variable of a class will be hidden from other classes and can be accessed only through the methods of their current class. Okay. So another concept is information hiding. Information hiding describes the idea of bundling data and methods that work on that data within one unit. Like the main example is the class itself. We are hiding all the informations. We are bundling all the things inside a class or inside an object. This concept is used to hide the internal representation or state of an object from the outside. In the outside world, we don't know about what is the internal state of a class or object. Next concept is inheritance. Inheritance is an important pillar of OOP concept, object-oriented programming. It is the mechanism in Java by which one class is allowed to inherit the features of another class. If two classes is there, one class can inherit the features of other class. If this class also needs something inside in this class, we can give that permission to access this class also by using inheritance method. Okay, inheritance concepts. Polymorphism in Java is the ability of an object to take many forms. To simply put, polymorphism in Java allows us to perform the same action in many different ways. Polymorphism. Poly means many, morph means many forms. We can use an object or anything with the same name. We can use in the same different situations. We can perform the same action in many different ways and many different situations. That is actually polymorphism. Next is abstraction. Hiding internal details and showing functionality is known as abstraction. For example, phone call. We don't know the internal processing. When we are calling to any person, we don't know about the internal processes, but we will get actually what we want. It's like the communication between two people. That is the concept of abstraction. So these all are the main things under object-oriented programming concept. The other concept like inheritance, polymorphism, and encapsulations that we will explain that I'm going to explain in the another video also in detail. Okay, so please stay tuned on this channel. Thank you.